Hey there, Libra. Welcome to your reading for the week of September 9th. This week, we are going to jump right in here. You have this Caduceus card. It says you will receive news from afar. You also have the Serpent. It says a slight and subtle approach is needed. So we have a Serpent twice. There are two snakes on the Caduceus as well. And so there's a couple of things that are popping into my head for you, Libra. One is that the Caduceus, it can represent communication, but the snakes in the tarot and other places can represent the guardians of portals. And snakes guard portals because usually to cross through a threshold or a portal, we have to face some sort of fear, and we have to overcome that fear. So the snakes represent like the fear that we have to overcome to get to our goal. And I think that for a lot of you, that this reading could be saying that this isn't like a real fear. This is like something where it's like a little bit of a blockage or a little bit of something that's kind of like holding you back from having what you truly want in your life. And I feel that if you could face whatever that fear is, or if you could overcome it in some way, then clearly you will be very successful. This is definitely the best air sign reading that I have done. The other two, they both have the Tower, so that should tell you something. But you show up as the very first card. You have the Justice card, the Eight of Swords, and the Chariot. The Justice card, of course, can represent justice. I kind of feel that it's just talking about you. And whenever you show up as yourself, it puts you in a position of power and strength, and it allows you to get what you want from the reading. So I feel you are just kind of showing up in a very neutral position this week, and you're just showing up in kind of like a good place. You have the Eight of Swords. I do feel like a tiny little blockage. You even end with this card that says releasing blocks on it. Luckily, that card is showing up in the area of the good stuff, but again, there could be some sort of little blockage or little tiny little thing that's kind of holding you back a little bit at this time. The trick with the Eight of Swords is to realize that there are many ways to overcome anything that you are dealing with. The Eight of Swords, the problem is that she is only seeing one way to solve her problem. She's not looking at all the different ways there are to solve the problem that she's dealing with. So if you are facing an obstacle or a challenge, just realize that there are many ways to overcome that obstacle or challenge. You have the Chariot. The Chariot is a victory or a success coming in for you. So I feel for a lot of you that this could be some sort of victory that you will be having, or you're charging towards some sort of victory. I also feel that a lot of you, we are in a time where everyone is setting themselves apart. Everyone gets a Chariot nowadays, and the Chariot really, it's a card of victory and success, and it says where there's a will, there's a way, and all that other stuff, but it really says that you are setting yourself apart. He is leaving the city behind him, and he doesn't really know where he is going. He is just trying to answer his call, and what do you know? You go up to the Judgment card. The Judgment card is a card of answering your inner calling, or even listening to your inner calling so that you can be more successful. And that's kind of like what I feel like you're doing here. With the Justice card, you have the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords says something is dead, done, over with. I actually feel pretty good about this because something might be dead in your life, but the Justice card would say that you are now looking at it from a neutral perspective, like in love, for example. When you get to that point where you really are not like angry or you really don't have any feelings, you're just in that place where you're willing to say, you know what, that person can just go live their life and that's fine. I'm going to focus on mine. When you get to that point, that's where you set yourself free, and that's where you can find success in love again, for example. But same thing, that rule applies to every area of life. And the interesting thing is we go over to the Judgment card, and so Judgment, these people are rising up out of these coffins, and the coffin represents their old life. Outside the coffin represents their new life, so they are stepping into a new life. With the Eight of Swords, you have the Two of Cups, which you end with as well. You have the Two of Cups here. So for those of you that want love, definitely a good love reading. I mean, you have the Lovers, Two of Cups twice, Three of Cups. It could be a fire sign that's coming in for you. You have the Page of Pentacles, which could be a new person. So for those of you that want love, this looks really good. I would also say for all of you, if you are stuck in the Eight of Swords, the Two of Cups is you and your higher self. So it says you need to communicate with your higher self and tap in and listen to what your higher self is saying so that you can get out of something that you're stuck in, right? With the Chariot card, you have the Temperance card. What's really funny is I'm hearing that you're not trying to fit in. I feel that sometimes the Temperance card, he's trying to mix those two cups together And kind of the feeling I get for you is that maybe you've been trying to fit in to a situation. It could be anything like a job, a business, a career, a past relationship, whatever. And I feel like the Temperance card is saying that you are not trying to fit in. You're just saying, you know what? I am who I am, and if I have to set myself apart, I'm going to set myself apart with that Chariot, and that's exactly what you're doing. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Compassion card and this Purpose card. We already know that your purpose is kind of coming through in this reading because we have the Judgment card also showing up here. The Judgment card is your purpose. So a lot of you could be being more compassionate to yourself by living your purpose. Again, I believe personally that if we are not living our quote unquote purpose, that we are not being compassionate to ourselves. Like if you have a job that you hate, for example, or if you are in a position where you're obligated to do things that you hate, then you're not being compassionate to yourself, right? And so I feel that we're entering into a time of compassion, even though it seems like the opposite in the world right now, right? But usually that's what happens. Is like first we experience the opposite and then we correct the problems and we go the other direction, hopefully, right? And so I think that it starts with us. That's why I always preach in these readings that people should start moving towards their heart right now, because the energy is not right? And so we have to be the ones that create the change. And if we do, then this will be a good thing. Obviously, if we go the other direction, who the hell knows what's going to happen? And so that's why I encourage people to do this so much. But we have to be compassionate to ourselves. I would also say the other big challenge that's going on right now is like your logical brain, or what makes logical sense and what you want to do. It's like logically, we probably should all go to college and get a degree and have a job. Your heart might be telling you to start your own business, or get a job that you're more passionate about that might not make as much money, right? And so it's like those are the challenges I feel people are facing and will be facing between now and like 2033, during this time. And so almost 10 years. And really, it did start in 2023. So the next that decade, 2023 to 2033, is all about following your heart and making sure you're tapping in, slowing down, and listening to your heart. Because the problem is, also, a lot of the problems in the world might only be able to be solved, or they look like they might only be able to be solved through, hard work, or forcing things to happen, or getting a career that you hate and making money, right? And so it's kind of like this weird, kind of dichotomy that exists, right? You have the Queen of Pentacles, the Three of Cups, and the Lovers. Queen of Pentacles is about you being resourceful and you using your resources. Until 2033, I think it's a very resourceful time where if you want to do something, chances are you're not going to have the money to do it, but you need to do it anyway. And so people always say, how? How can I do something anyway? And I always say, I don't know, but you have to figure it out, right? There's a great book called The Power of Broke by Damon John. So, it's all about people who were broke that started like amazing businesses. And I'm not saying you have to start a business, but whatever you want to do, how can you do it anyway? And, how can you start it small and then it will turn into something big, right? And that's what the Queen of Pentacles really says. You have the Three of Cups. It does seem to be an amazing time for socializing. And so all the readings for the month of September have had something about socializing or getting energy from the people that you socialize with. So if you have people that you're close with, or that, people that you enjoy being with, then I would say that the Three of Cups could be an amazing time to be able to, socialize with people, spend time with people, and learn from those people. So again, I would surround yourself with good people. You have the Lovers. The Lovers, of course, could represent love, and we go up like this to the King of Wands, to the Two of Cups, which would be a perfect match coming in for you. You also have the Page of Pentacles here, and the Page of Pentacles could be a new love offer that's being presented to you, and it would be a new person. And you also have the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles is the path to marriage. So even though the Ace of Pentacles can be a money card, it can also represent like something that has a lot of potential. Yeah, here you go. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Eight of Swords. So again, you might be thinking money, but the Eight of Swords says, well, actually there's a bunch of other ways that you could get started with no money. And that's what I would be thinking about. It might not be money either. It's like maybe you think you need time to be able to do something, but how much of something can you get done even with the little amount of time that you have during your day? And, again, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but it's like clear to me that you're trying to move towards your purpose with that Judgment card. And no, you might not have a lot of time, or maybe you don't have the money, but how can you do it anyway is what I would say with the Eight of Swords. And, that's what I would start thinking about with that card. With the Three of Cups, you have the Hierophant. The Hierophant is about being a teacher. And again, maybe that's a good thing for you to do. It's like there are a million examples on YouTube, for example, right, of people who wanted to do something. They couldn't afford it. They just start talking about it on YouTube and they become an expert. Right? So which you could basically do for free. And if you have a cell phone, which I'm sure most of you do, or if you have a computer that you're probably watching this on, you could easily teach people about what you want. So it's like maybe you want to do something impossible, but there are so many examples of people who like wanted to do something, they couldn't afford it, they couldn't afford to go to school or whatever. They just start talking about it on YouTube, and now they are making way more money than they would have if they went to school for whatever it is that they wanted to talk about. So the Hierophant is about being a teacher, and maybe it would be a good time for you to be a teacher, or for you to just share things that you're interested in. With the Lovers, you have the Nine of Pentacles. I kind of feel like you are enjoying the single life here, Libra. I kind of feel like you're enjoying yourself right now, which is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But sometimes I think when we do create a life that's worth living, then we do attract like a really good person who also has created a life that's worth living. And, I think that's like the best type of person you can attract, a person who doesn't need you. You don't need them, but you want each other, but you're both perfectly capable of doing your own thing. It's like you don't need a mother or a father, and they don't need a mother or father either. It's like you're both perfectly independent. And so if you want love, I really do feel you could be attracting a person like that. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Capricorn card. Can't make that up. It says challenges. It says it will not be an easy path, but if you build discipline, you will achieve your goal. Yes, definitely not going to be easy. We're not in an easy time. I make this very clear in my readings. I say this in every reading pretty much, that, again, nothing is going to come easily, but it will be worth it, right? It will be worth it to put the work in to build your purpose or build your life, whatever you're trying to do. You have the Success and Triumph card. It says, nothing will be able to get in your way. You will surely come out on top. So if you put the work in and develop the discipline, you will be successful. Pluto and Capricorn, discipline, needing to be disciplined. We also have Neptune and Pisces and Saturn and Pisces. Neptune and Pisces is like that big impossible dream. Saturn and Pisces is like, if you develop the discipline to work on the dream, then you will get it. So whatever your dream is, I would start putting in the work. You have the Judgment card, the King of Wands, and the Page of Pentacles. Judgment is about waking up to your purpose. These people are standing in these coffins. Again, outside the coffin is their new life. So they really need to leave those coffins. They need to let go of their old life so that they can step into their new life, so that they can experience something greater or better in their life. And that's what I feel like you're doing here with the Judgment card, is like you're rising up and stepping into something new or something better and that you're being called to. The King of Wands is a little bit of a visionary, and he has the power of foresight. He can almost see the future. So again, if you're having any ideas for like work, business, or just your life in general that are a little bit visionary, the King of Wands says nurture those things. I look at the King of Wands as the true father in the tarot, but he, in the sense that, if he's working on something, he treats it like a baby. He really, really nurtures the things that he cares about into existence. So if you are working on something, or if you're about to, which it looks like you are because you have the Ace of Pentacles here as well, then I would make sure that you're really, really caring for it, that you're really, really, using that Venus energy that you have, Libra, to nurture something into existence. And, that's what I would focus on here. I do also feel you could be attracting a fire sign. You get fire with me every single reading. And so, again, there could be a fire sign coming in for you. It could be any sign, but, it could be a very fiery person. You have the Page of Pentacles. Again, could be a person that's trying to communicate with you. So if you want love, I definitely feel this could be like a new love connection, or a new person in love that's trying to communicate with you. So, I thought I was going to say something else, but I guess not. And so there you go. This could also be something new that you're learning about. And we see a lot of learning here, Hierophant to the Page of Pentacles. If you're learning something new, it might be a great time to document what you're learning and share it, right? Like I said, with that Hierophant card, that could be something that you get started on. And I would definitely encourage you to do that. With the Judgment card, you have the Lovers, so definitely could be love coming in for you. I feel like this is a new person. Sometimes Judgment can represent a past person, but you have the Ten of Swords. You know, the Ten of Swords says the past is dead, done, over with, and now you're moving towards something new. So I feel like there's new love coming in. And right next to it, we have the Two of Cups. So, you know, this would definitely be a very solid connection. With the King of Wands, you have the Page of Pentacles, definitely a new person, and I feel that this could be something that starts as communication. I would say this is a very bold, confident person. This is not, this person is not like a pushover, you know. I feel that's probably the thing that you notice about this person. It would not surprise me if they had, if they're not a fire sign, I feel this person has a ton of fire in their chart. Could be like an earth sign, because you do have Earth here with a bunch of fire. Could be a Capricorn as well. You have Queen of Pentacles and the Capricorn card here. Could be any sign, general reading, but whatever it is, doesn't matter. I feel this is probably a very confident person. With the Page of Pentacles, you have the Hermit. See, I think it's time for you to share, you know, in a lot of ways. The Hermit has climbed up the mountain. He's been through a dark night of the soul. He's done his soul searching. He's been through something difficult. But I always say the trick with the Hermit is to come down from the mountain. He has learned, but, you know, sometimes I think, you know, life does us dirty, which, you know, Ten of Swords, maybe there are some things in your life that you feel like have done you dirty, right? But sometimes life does us dirty, and so we just want to stay at the top of the mountain. I feel like the trick with the Hermit is to come down from the mountain and live your life in a way so that you can be an inspiration. You know, one of my favorite quotes of all time, I wasn't into wrestling, but the Ultimate Warrior, he said, don't instruct people, inspire people. And Hierophant to the Hermit would be, don't instruct people, inspire people. So it might be a great time to start living your truth, and by doing that, you're inspiring people, and by doing that, you're teaching people, even though you're not directly teaching people. And I feel like there's some sort of karmic rewards that could come in from that, so I would do it. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Releasing Blocks card, which is great. You have this Clear Your Energy card as well. So we said this at the beginning of the reading, that it might be a good time. And look at this. There are 2 snakes on this card here as well for clearing your energy. And we talked about the snakes at the beginning of the reading. So I feel that for a lot of you, kind of like clearing up your energy clearly would be a good idea. And it's showing up in the good stuff. So you could actively be healing, or you could just be doing things for yourself or healing yourself. And, you know, of course, that would be a good thing. You have the Two of Cups, and you can see here, right here is the Caduceus. You start with that Caduceus card, and the Caduceus is Mercury. It's the Staff of Hermes with 2 snakes on the side of it. And so the Staff of Hermes is Mercury, which represents communication. So you could start communicating with a new person if you're looking for love. Also, I would highly recommend doing whatever you do to tap in to your higher self. Like for me, for example, like I don't meditate very often. My meditation is going for a walk. How I haven't been hit by a car is a miracle, because when I go for a walk, I'm like just like in a la la land, right? I don't even pay attention. So what I would say here is do whatever it is for you. For some people, it's like the shower. I also get really good ideas in the shower as well. So, you know, it's to tap into your higher self. I think sometimes people think like, am I going to hear words? Am I going to see visions or whatever? I always say like, it might not be like that. You know, it might just be like for me, when I go for a walk, I get out of my head and just ideas just kind of pop up in my head. I just start thinking about things, right? So it's like whatever that is for you, wherever you get your best ideas, I would start doing more of those things, because clearly your higher self is trying to communicate with you. You have the Ace of Swords, which is a victory. You have 2 aces at the end here. 2 aces is a definite yes to a question that I have not answered. So the Ace of Swords would be a victory or a big success coming in for you. And, you know, again, I definitely feel that you should be paying attention to that. The sword is also above the mountains, and you have this card that says, success and triumph, nothing will get in your way. You will surely come out on top. And the Ace of Swords is all about coming out on top. So really, really good. You have the Ace of Pentacles, which could be like a big opportunity that's being presented to you. I feel like this is something that you have to nurture. I always say that the Ace of Pentacles has this garden right here, and the garden on the Ace of Pentacles represents something that you have to like water it, feed it, fertilize it, give it sunlight. You have to do all of those things to like really nurture something into existence, and you know, it looks to me like that's what you're doing. Here, this is amazing. With the Two of Cups, you have the Star. The Star is a blessing. So if it's a person, this person could be a blessing. For others, you could just be getting ideas that are blessings, like I said. So that's amazing. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Magician. The Magician, I kind of feel two things here. The Magician has mastery over all the suits in the tarot in front of him. And so with the Ace of Swords, this could say that it would be a good time for you to use your intellect, your swords, energy, or even a good time to use your words, right? I also feel that some of you are kind of like reinventing yourselves at this time, and I feel the reinvention energy would be a victory. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Three of Swords. Three of Swords showing up in the good stuff would say that you're forgiving the past. I literally said this with the Justice card and the Ten of Swords, that I feel like you're at that place where it's like you truly don't care. It's not that you don't care, but I feel like you are unattached from the past, right? It's like you don't care how an ex's life is going, for example. I feel like you've released it. And again, I'm not saying you don't care like in a jerky way. I'm saying you don't care as in whatever happens. You're just like, whatever, however their life goes is how their life goes. I'm focusing on my life. And I feel really good about that because I feel like that's how we should be, after a connection is we should get to that place where we don't care how an ex's life turns out. We're just more focused on ourselves, like in a good way. You have this Tree card. It says affairs with family. Yeah, it's a really good time for socializing, spending time with family, things like that. So I definitely recommend it. You have this Woman card. It says dealings or relationships with a woman. You have this Carrot. It says opportunity or windfall. I kind of feel it doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man or whatever. I feel like this is just saying you are getting an opportunity that could lead to a windfall, especially with that Ace of Pentacles. So really solid opportunity. You have this Key card. It says successful outcome to your problems. Ace of Swords, the Success and Triumph card. Clearly there's some sort of success coming in for you. You have this Fox card. It says shrewdness and resourcefulness, especially in business. Queen of Pentacles. We talked all about it. I think everybody should be thinking like this right here, especially if you're working on a big project or a business or even something personal. We should be being resourceful. We should be looking for better ways of doing things, but we have to do our research to figure that out. And I encourage everyone to do this right now. Even if you have $1 billion in the bank account, it doesn't matter. I would be, instead of like spending money on something, I would be thinking, how can I do this in the most efficient way possible? And, I think this is a major focus right now. So I would definitely, pay attention to that. You have this Vase card. It says secret admirer. Yes, King of Wands. If you work with someone who's very like bold and assertive, that person could be interested, or it could just be a friend or someone you know. But this is a really good reading, Libra. Love it. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.